Hello and welcome to the AgriHQ Livestock Insight Report Update brought to you by the AgriHQ analyst. I'm Nicola Dennis. No Sarah Friel today, so it's just me, the hyperactive one that can't stay the right distance from the microphone. So enjoy. Right, usually we would do your top 3 insights from the report and try and convince you to buy the Livestock Insight Report. So let's not break from tradition. Going to give you the top 3 insights, and if you want more, if you want that full 3-pager, you've got to go to agrihq.co.nz and subscribe, and they'll be popping in your inbox every Friday. Now, we're in lockdown. I don't know if there's anyone left who doesn't know that, but we're in lockdown, so our top 3 insights are very lockdown related. So number 1, drum roll. Number 1, the sale yards under lockdown. They don't happen. So sale yards are closed under level 4 lockdown. Last time they didn't come back to level 2. Although there's probably some room for negotiation there, since a lot of sale yards invested in camera technology and we're heading to sort of like online products anyway. So maybe we will see something happening there, but at any rate, we're not going to have any sales this week because we're level 4 till the end of the week. Number 2, the slaughter market during lockdown. Now, this was actually kind of reassuring. I know that a lot of people were hanging out for the report on Friday just to see what was going on, and happy to report that there wasn't any major upsets in prices. There wasn't any upsets in prices at all, actually. The fundamentals of the supply of slaughter stock still very much in the farmers' favour. I don't imagine we'll see them keep climbing up like they were before, because processors have added costs and added uncertainty, but processors were still very keen to compete for finished cattle and lamb. But the downside was the bobby calves, particularly in the South Island. That's a stock of class that you don't know what you're getting until you get it on the day, sort of thing, and there's quite a lot of urgency to get those calves processed. That was a major concern in the South Island because we're at our peak bobby calf kill. We calve a little bit later than the North Island, and that was like the big week, and it also coincided with just a snap lockdown that nobody knew was about to happen. So processors did have to stop for a minute or two to put up screens, to get staff into different shifts and distancing, and a lot of admin that went on there, and it did mean that we had a backlog of calves and some lamb bookings were cancelled. But we don't think that this is like an ongoing chronic issue that we have to deal with this week, for a couple of reasons. Reason number 1, every processor I spoke to last week was adamant that they would be on top of the problem for this week, which is good. They'd know, right? So, and then reason number 2 is that the calves typically drop away, the calf numbers typically drop away quite substantially from here on in. So usually dropping about 20,000 animals a week. So the peak kill last year was 105,000 calves. And then, what would be this week was sort of like 80,000 calves. So that helps. I know that there's some frustrations there around people who didn't get all their calves booked, or people who usually send their feeder calves to the sale yards and now they have to work out how to bobby them or what to do with them. But just for perspective, in last week's Canterbury Park sale before the lockdown, we only had 57 feeder calves. So if you compare 57 feeder calves to 105,000 calves being slaughtered, it's not a huge influence. Number 3, insight number 3, export markets under New Zealand lockdown. Now, they didn't care, to be honest. The export markets were fairly ambivalent, sympathetic for sure. It always sucks to hear someone's in lockdown, and there was a little bit concerned that New Zealand's supply, which was already quite diminished, might be diminished further, and of course it could be if we get infections in plants or in the ports. then yes, we could see some disruption. So that was mainly the thing that our export markets were worried about. Supply is still very tight for this time of the year, it being our off season. So we did see some increase in some of our lamb export indicators. The US French rack was marching upward on its continued recovery, and the beef indicators were holding steady. So all of that's looking very reassuring. And I don't know what's going to be in this week's report because we will sort of play that by ear, and I just want to take a couple of minutes while my son wasn't bothering me about homeschooling. But I imagine we will look at kill numbers, make sure there's not any sort of like watch outs there, although I'd say that this lockdown has come at a very good time of the season. If there is a good time of the season to have a lockdown, this is looking good. So of course we're going to have a look at the store side of things, the slaughter side of things, export slaughter side of things, as we always do, and that'll be in your inbox on Friday if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, head along to agrihq.co.nz and get yourself sorted out.